Vintage guitars. They have a certain special character. Decades of studio use and road wear gives these guitars that mojo that, new fresh from the factory guitars just don't have. Now, it's definitely a dream to own an iconic, 1959 Les Paul or pre-CBS Fender, but the vintage market has put those top-tier instruments out of reach for most of us, probably. But thankfully, while Gibson and Fender were making Les Pauls and Tellys and Strats, really cool companies like Harmony, Silvertone, and Kay were making super cool guitars at mass scale. Today, we're going to have a look at 10 of those guitars for less than $1,000 on Reverb. Let's check it out. First on the list, a guitar from a classic catalog company, the Harmony Bobkat. Introduced as the Silhouette in 1963, Harmony renamed the model the Bobkat in 1968. They were sold in Sears department stores with a distinct offset body starting at $65, a cheaper alternative to Fender's Jazzmaster selling for about $350. The Bobkat comes in several models, the single pickup H14, the two pickup H15, and the premium H19 with 3 pickups and a whammy bar. All models use high-output DeArmond gold foil pickups and have a rosewood fretboard. The guitar regained popularity when St. Vincent started touring with an H15V a few years back. You can usually find these on Reverb going between $600 and $1,200 depending on the model and condition. Next on our list, the Peavey T-60, which might be named as such because it might weigh 60 tons. Hartley Peavey nailed his determination to create an instrument for the needs of the working musician at a fair and reasonable price with the T-60, Peavey's first guitar model released in 1978. This guitar is all about offering a wide range of tones and a somewhat eccentric circuit board. The T-60 was ahead of its time with coil splitting. Keep the tone knob below 7 and you'll hear a single coil pickup. Roll the tone knob up to 10 and you'll switch to a humbucker. The guitar also features an out-of-phase switch. These made-in-the-USA guitars have acquired a cult following for the range of sounds they can get, but you can still find them on Reverb for about $600. Next on our list, often imitated, never duplicated. Is that the phrase? The Univox Hi-Flier. The Univox Hi-Flier is the sound of punk rock with a reverse offset body shape. The guitar was modeled after the relatively pricey Moss-Wright Ventures. The Hi-Flier aimed to make an equally cool guitar more affordable. Made in Japan starting in 1968, the Hi-Flier went through 4 variations of production models. Phase 1 and Phase 2 guitars feature 2 P90 pickups. The Phase 2 model has smaller fret markers, a 3-way toggle switch replacing a rocker switch, and a plain white pickguard. Lee Ronaldo of Sonic Youth famously played a Phase 2 guitar. The significant changes to the Hi-Flier Phase 3 guitars attracted Kurt Cobain. In 1974, the P90 pickups were swapped out for 2 humbuckers, making a drastic change to the guitar's tone and a higher output level. Kurt Cobain is rumored to have used a Hi-Flier exclusively on Nirvana's debut studio album, Bleach. Phase 4 Hi-Fliers keep the humbuckers and have a traditional bridge instead of a vibrato-style bridge. And perhaps the greatest endorsement for the Univox Hi-Flier, Kurt Cobain loved to destroy them. So you can destroy a Hi-Flier for around $700 on Reverb. A commonality with these vintage catalog guitars is that they were built with affordability in mind, often for students or beginners. Just so happens that they were built pretty well and sound really great, and the next 2 guitars on our list fit right into that category. So first, let's talk about the Kay Vanguard II. Kay's goal with the Vanguard II was to bring a cheap guitar to the masses. And now you can find these guitars for $300, $400, $500 on Reverb. Some models are equipped with pancake pickups, while others have red foils. The symmetrical body has a double cutaway at the 18th fret. If you're looking to snag a vintage guitar and a vintage amp for less than $1,000, the Silvertone 1457 will set you up with both. In the mid-50s, most Silvertones were produced by Danelectro and sold at Sears department stores. The 1457 was only produced for 3 years, from 63 to 66, in a red burst finish with 2 lipstick pickups. The guitar came with a case that had a built-in 5-watt tube amplifier with an 8-inch speaker. While you can still find many of these on Reverb, be sure to read the listing carefully and check that the case's amp is in proper working condition if you plan on using it. If you don't care much for the amp, you could probably score an even better deal on the guitar. The next one on our list scores high marks for originality points. This thing is awesome from the top down. The Danelectro Convertible is a thin-line hollow-body electric guitar with a single low-output lipstick tube pickup in the sound hole. The guitar was built with affordability as a top priority, trading costly wood for a masonite body, which is typical of Danelectros from this period. The hollow body construction allows the guitar to function as both an electric and an acoustic guitar, hence convertible and a 2-for-1 deal. These guitars are popular on Reverb and typically list starting around $750. Most Gibson vintage guitars will run you well over $1,000, as you probably know. But there is one very cool, short-lived Gibson model that is well more within reach, and that is the Gibson Marauder. Gibson partnered with pickup and guitar designer Bill Lawrence to create the Gibson Marauder. The guitar is Gibson's first bolt-on neck, which brought costs down so that the company could compete with Fender's Stratocaster and Telecaster. With a Les Paul-shaped body and a flying V-series headstock, the design riffs on Gibson's signature aesthetics. The guitar wasn't a huge hit, so it was only produced for a few short years from 1975 to 1979. The Marauder is an excellent opportunity to own an offbeat vintage Gibson guitar for under $1,000. So if you want to know why there are so few now, it's because Paul Stanley bought up a bunch of them just to smash them on stage. Thanks, Paul Stanley. You can take the star in your eye and kiss mine. Next guitar on our list may only cost less than $1,000, but it'll make you feel like $1 million. The Ovation Breadwinner. The Ovation Breadwinner is unlike any other guitar on this list. Made by acoustic guitar makers, the Breadwinner was their attempt to break into the electric guitar market. The body shape is designed to resemble an axe and has active electronics. The ergonomic design allows for easy upper fret access. The Breadwinner was played by Peter Tosh and kisses Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley, you can also kiss my...
He didn't smash him, though.
He didn't smash him. Oh, he didn't smash him?
No.
Okay, I guess, Ace, this time, you're freely to go. Next, we have another guitar made in Japan, the Epiphone ET-270. This double cutaway guitar was made in Japan at the Matsumoku factory beginning in 1969 and ending production in 1975. While most Epiphones had humbucker pickups, the ET-270 had two single-coil pickups and a Strat-like body shape. The guitar is also famous for being played by Kurt Cobain, who had a thing for cheap guitars, apparently. These guitars were made in a cherry burst finish and are easy to find on Reverb, selling between $600 and $1,000. Some of these brands on our list you've probably heard of, like Harmony and Silvertone. This one, however, may be a little bit more obscure, Kapa. And we're going to talk about the Kapa Continental. The Kapa Continental is a stylish offset guitar from the 60s that has flown under the radar. It has a Jazzmaster Jaguar-style bridge. These guitars were made in the USA, Maryland to be exact, but include European parts, like Hofner-made pickups. The Continental has a master volume and two tone knobs, as well as two pickup selector switches. You can find these guitars on Reverb starting at $650. It's so cool to discover vintage guitars from builders and brands that maybe some of us have never even heard of. And with that common thread of affordability as their top priority for the masses, that means that they were building these guitars for you and for me. I encourage you, find a cool vintage guitar that's got decades worth of stories behind it and music played into it. On this list, we only hit 10. Let us know if you snagged an awesome deal, some cool old guitar. Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching once again. See you guys next time. If you are not the breadwinner, maybe you need a breadwinner. The Ovation Breadwinner. If you're not the breadwinner, you can probably afford the breadwinner. Don't want to get too much into domestic politics here, but if you're not the breadwinner...